Russia is increasingly resorting to sabotage in Europe, carrying out increasingly open attacks on Western infrastructure. But the West is resorting to euphemisms and is afraid of a direct admission that Putin's actions are, in fact, open warfare. This is what Phillips Payson O'Brien, Professor of Strategic Studies at the University of St Andrews in Scotland, writes in an article for The Atlantic. Last month, for example, the Estlink 2 submarine power cable that connects Estonia to Finland was cut. Shortly after the Estlink 2 sabotage, Finnish authorities seized the Eagle S oil tanker, which was en route from St. Petersburg, Russia, to Egypt and was loaded with advanced surveillance equipment. Finnish authorities concluded that the Eagle S had dragged its anchor along the bottom of the Baltic Sea for tens of kilometers in an attempt to break through the Estlink 2 line. Clearly, cutting power lines is a less overt form of aggression than the full-scale invasion that Putin has launched in Ukraine. However, the overall theme is that Russia is using force to undermine the independence of a recognized country and its ability to resist, the expert notes. There are also numerous other cases of sabotage across the European continent at strategically important sites, munitions factories, key railway lines, as well as warehouses and shopping centers. Investigators believe Russia is behind the attacks, but European officials seem afraid to acknowledge what is happening, refusing to use the word war to describe Moscow's actions outside Ukraine, the expert says. Different euphemisms serve different purposes. Putin prefers special military operations because he does not want to publicly admit that he is waging a brutal war on the Ukrainians. Many in Europe avoid describing Russia's subversive campaign outside Ukraine as a war, because they would rather do nothing in response. He emphasizes, but European officials would do well to face reality honestly. O'Brien writes, the combination of Putin's aggression and Trump's indifference should be an opportunity for Europe to take responsibility for its own defense. The first important step in this realization is to acknowledge what is already happening, to call a war a war. Earlier, NATO's Secretary General Mark Rutte, speaking about the situation in Europe, noted that it is not in a state of war, but is not in a state of peace either. Russia is intensifying its destabilization campaign against Western countries. Earlier, Czech Foreign Minister Jan Lipavsky said that up to 100 cyber attacks and sabotage in Europe could be linked to Russia. Officials agree that Russia is waging a hybrid war against Europe.
A series of powerful explosions occurred in the Bryansk region, Russian Telegram channels report with reference to local residents. According to Telegram channel MASH, people heard about 30 explosions. It is confirmed that Bryansk was attacked by ATACMS missiles. Some Telegram channels, in particular ASTRA, write with reference to their readers that the target was the Bryansk chemical plant named after the 50th anniversary of the USSR, located in the city of Seltso. It is said that an ammunition warehouse near Bryansk was attacked. It is reported that American ATACMS missiles were used for the attack. This chemical plant produces gunpowder, explosives and components for rocket fuel, in particular ammunition for barrel artillery, MLRS, aviation, cruise missiles, X-59, weapons TOS-1, Tasachka, remote mining systems, Zemlyadoly, and also carries out repair of RSZO Grad, Uragan, and Tornado G. The drones distracted the Russian air defense forces, opening the way for rockets that accurately hit the main targets. A long-range UAV destroyed substations and other important infrastructure after a missile strike. As ASTRA notes, the Bryansk chemical plant named after the 50th anniversary of the USSR has already become the target of Ukrainian drones, in April 2024. The factory produces explosive substances and belongs to the Tamash Holding, which is involved in the implementation of the State Defense Order, remind the authors. Geolocation of another video of explosions in the Bryansk region confirms that the target of the Ukrainian strike could be not only an ammunition warehouse near Bryansk, but also a factory for the production of explosives in the city of Seltso. In addition, according to MASH data, fragments of the HIMARS rocket fell on the territory of the Kreml plant in Bryansk. The governor of the region, Alexander Bogomaz, later announced a massive attempt to launch a combined missile strike from Ukraine. According to him, the air defense forces destroyed all the targets. According to preliminary data, there are no victims. Other details Bogomaz did not bring.
Да.